Hello everyone and welcome to this week's weekly market view for Monday the 19th of September to Friday the 23rd of September 2022. My name is Vishal, so let's get started. Alright then, so let's start with the Nifty analysis, and you can pretty much see that we are getting a little bit of a rejection as we have come closer to the very top end of the price action over here, and this is what has been happening in the monthly charts. Whenever the price comes closer to these all-time highs, market begins to reject. There is still no sign of supply. We might get a bigger rejection from these levels, and the monthly demand zone is still holding. Let's move on to the weekly chart. On the weekly chart, we are holding on to this tested weekly supply zone, and it has been holding this level for quite a few times now. It's been retested again and again, and whenever the prices come to this level, we are seeing this rejection. In the current price situation, we are seeing the Nifty more or less reacting from this supply zone, and again after today's market open, we are seeing a little bit of consolidation in this area. If you look at this demand zone is now very deeply tested. We are high on the curve, so there is a possibility that in case sooner or later the market is going to probably reject and probably start to do something like this, or then break down and then start doing this. Now we have a big global news coming out this week, which is the Fed, and traders need to be a little cautious because right now this consolidation is indicating that the price range is becoming tighter and tighter, and which means that we might get to see a big breakout or a breakdown towards either sides. Let's go to the daily chart now, and if we look at the daily chart, so price is holding on to this supply zone on the daily chart. It's still intact. It has been tested once, it's gone a little bit more deeper, and now prices are again coming back to this area here to test this weekly level. If we remove these zones here, there is a level of demand on the Nifty, और अगर हम देखेंगे तो ये लेवल barely टेस्टेड है. तो अगर फेड न्यूज़ के वजह से मार्केट अगर थोड़ा सा करेक्ट होता है, फिर एक पॉसिबिलिटी यहाँ पे बनती है निफ्टी को ख़रीदने के लिए, और यहाँ से हम एक बाउंस एक्सपेक्ट कर सकते हैं जो कि वापस निफ्टी को ऊपर लेके जा सकता है. If the price does break this supply and then we might move on more or less to the upper supply zones. There is a level around 18,385, although it cannot be seen on this chart here, but definitely there is a level, and traders need to be a little cautious at around 18,385. तो अगर ये 18,126 का लेवल ब्रेक होके मार्केट अगर इसके ऊपर ट्रेड करना चालू करता है, तो फिर ये लेवल जो है 18,385, sooner or later this is likely to get tested. If the price doesn't hold this lower level of demand, and I'll be surprised if price doesn't hold that because it's barely tested the level, तो यहाँ से डिमांड जोन का जो बाउंस है वो एक्सपेक्टेड है. But in case if the price doesn't hold on to this level, then we might see lower levels being tested. So we might see this area, or maybe this area again tested. But again, that is a little bit more in terms of the time to tell. But overall at least ऐसा लग रहा है कि जो मार्केट है वो शायद इस रेंज के बीच में ही ट्रेड करेगा. So let's remove all the tools here, and what I'm expecting the market to do is to be range bound for this week as well, between this supply zone of 7,929 to 18,126 and this demand zone of 7,155 to 7,011. अगर हम volatility analysis indicator देखें नीचे की तरफ, volatility is significantly inflated now. For the past couple of weeks volatility was very low. तो ऑप्शन के जो प्रीमियम्स थे वो काफ़ी सस्ते थे, and if you would have done any kind of debit strategies or some non-directional debit strategies, you would have made good money taking into consideration now that volatility has risen and premiums have become expensive. So now in the current market situation, how does a options trader take advantage, right? So option premiums are inflated right now. So one should focus more on option selling in the current market scenario on the Nifty. And if you are a non-directional trader, you can also plan a non-directional credit strategy between this demand zone and this supply zone here. So that would be probably a decent trade that can be taken. Alright, let's move on to the intraday chart. Now on the intraday chart, there are some important levels on the Nifty which I would like to point out. Right now, price is currently trading right in the middle of this entire price action, जहाँ से actually market नीचे गिरा है. But अगर हम देखेंगे तो निफ्टी को अगर ऊपर जाना है और convincingly ऊपर जाना है, then there is one level of supply here that one needs to be a little careful. And there seems to be this area here of supply, right? And if the market does come into this area, we might expect to see another fall coming into the market, right? So buyers might get more or less trapped into this level, and then we might see another bounce, another drop coming into the market. So just watch out for 17,758 to 17,822 on the 5 minutes chart, because this is a potential supply zone from where the prices have fallen and the trend can possibly continue to the downside. Now let's have a look at the open interest, and now let's have a look at this Nifty open interest to say so. And if you look at the Nifty open interest right now, let me just minimize over here. So we are seeing that there is a very strong support at 17,500 levels, and there is a lot of put writing that has been happening or taking place at this area. So 17,500 is going to probably act like a good support. और अगर ये 17,500 का लेवल ब्रेक होता है, जो कि मुश्किल लग रहा है, बट अगर ये ब्रेक होता है, then there is a pretty downside to the Nifty nearly towards 17,000 levels. So this 17,500 level is going to be a very critical level for the Nifty. अगर हम ऊपर की तरफ देखेंगे तो 18,000 लेवल, जो कि it's been significantly showing us that is where the highest open interest is. So what do we conclude from this data? We conclude that for the week of September 22nd weekly expiry, we are expecting the Nifty to be range bound between 17,500 to 18,000 levels. Okay, so that is approximately a 500 point range, and it will be interesting to see whether Nifty holds this range and starts moving up again back to the extremes of these levels, and then again if there is a sell-off that comes in at the higher levels. Let's look at the Bank Nifty now. So let's move into the Bank Nifty charts. Let's quickly have a look. And I'm just waiting for my charts to load. So let's get rid of all these tools. Perfect. So as you can see, Bank Nifty has been the strongest of the lot. But if you observe what happened last week is, जैसे ही market ने एक नया high बनाया Bank Nifty के ऊपर, so the previous high was around 41,829, and the new high was 41,840. So just by a single point, Bank Nifty made a new high, and then it started to reverse in a very strong way. So this was the area which probably all the buyers actually got trapped. Now this area is going to be a very crucial area for the Nifty, for the Bank Nifty, because unless and until we get a close above this high, this momentum can fade out. Okay, so you need to be a little careful. And obviously now we have a few days still remaining for the month of September. So ideally अगर ये जो green candle है, ये अगर इस high के ऊपर close हो जाता है, then it will give us more conviction that the Nifty and the Bank Nifty will likely probably move a little bit more to the upside. Let's go to the weekly chart. अगर हम weekly chart देखें तो we can see last week how we got this very strong rejection after Bank Nifty broke and made the all-time high. So we need to be a little careful right now. The week has started on a positive note, right? Because that is what the weekly candle is indicating. But within no time, this weekly candle can become even a bearish candle. Okay, let's move on to the daily chart. On the daily chart, after we saw two significant days of sell-off after Bank Nifty made the all-time high, we are seeing this area of support where probably Bank Nifty is wanting to hold. So I'm just going to draw a thin line in the sand here around this area. So this is that area which is around 40,300 odd levels. So right now you can see that the market is more or less trading in a very very tight range. And जैसे मैंने कहा कि the Fed news can probably create a scenario where something like this can happen, where prices can break out of the range, or probably might even this can happen. Okay, so we just need to be a little careful. और मुझे लगता है कि जब तक ये ग्लोबल न्यूज़ नहीं आता है तब तक शायद बैंक निफ्टी की तरह ही रेंज बाउंड ट्रेड करेगा. So we can expect the bank nifty to trade in a range of 41,900 to the upside to 40,300 to the downside. So although the range is a little tight, eventually something is likely to happen. Now, as you can see, as the Fed news is coming closer and closer, we can see that the premiums over here on the bank nifty have also significantly become expensive. At least the volatility analysis indicator is telling us कि premiums के जो दाम हैं वो महंगे हो रहे हैं, right? So if premiums were over here, then definitely premiums were cheap, and if you deployed any debit strategies here, you would have made money and good money on volatility rising. लेकिन अभी premiums बहुत ही महंगे हैं, so you need to be very very careful, and right now buying options is not going to be prudent in this market. So if you are having a directional view on this market, you should be getting into credit spreads, or if you have a non-directional view, then you need to be doing a non-directional credit strategy in such a market. All right, let's look at the open interest data for the bank nifty. So let me just get the data here, and as we can see, we are seeing that the highest open interest on the bank nifty call side is at 42,000, but there is also an obstacle at around 41,500. So unless and until 41,500 breaches, we may not see the 42,000 level coming into play. Also on the downside, if we look at the levels, we have 40,000 level also in play. So I'm seeing this all because of the news, and the range is a little wide, but of course all this will change because a lot of traders might have taken bets on either side, and probably they might be hedging their positions on their bets that they have taken. So 40,000 is going to be a strong support, and to the upside 42,000 also seems to be a strong resistance. So as compared to the nifty जहाँ पे 500 पॉइंट का रेंज है, बैंक निफ्टी पे जो रेंज है वो 2000 पॉइंट का है. So we might expect to see bank nifty be a little bit more volatile than the nifty during this news event. Now if you look at the intraday chart of the bank nifty, we can clearly see that there is this level in play, और अभी भी ये level intact है. This is that supply zone. Prices on the way down tested this level once. Today we had a second test of this level, and the markets are unable to break this level to the upside. So this is a level which is going to be in play right now, and sooner or later, as the market begins to react or begins to play out, we might see this level coming into play. All right, already this level is playing out as of now, right? So any shorts that are initiated here, this is pretty much a pretty decent level to initiate a short trade. And if you look at the downside, we have this gap level of demand, and the reason why this level is going to be a little important, because this gap level has been coming very very close. So price has been coming very very close to this gap level, but price has not yet triggered this gap level yet. Okay, so if any news, or let's say any event, brings the prices down to this area, then there is a very likely possibility that we might see the markets doing something like this and then trading in this area. So this range is going to be more or less the trading range during the news event, and this range is likely to hold, or this level is likely to hold if price does come to this level, unless and until something drastically or significantly happens. So we are expecting to see the Bank Nifty trade in a sideways range with a slightly negative bias right now. And let us see if this level in the coming week does tend to play out. We will review this level in our next week's session. Alright, let's now move on to the USD-INR and let us see what the USD-INR is doing. So generally जब market नीचे गिरता है तो USD-INR ऊपर जाता है, but let us now try to see what is exactly happening on the USD-INR. So अगर हम monthly chart देखें USD-INR का, तो USD-INR is trading at all time highs, but we have also seen कि जैसे ही market 80 handle touch करता है, you get to know that RBI has intervened and then they start buying the rupee as such. Alright, now if you look at the daily chart, USD-INR is just consolidating. So this is that supply zone where it is consolidating, and currently this is that area of demand, right? So this is that entire area of demand where the prices are consolidating. So again, USD-INR, not a very interesting market right now, but we could expect to see the market just trading in this range here. So 80.20 and to the downside 78.50. This should be the range in the coming weeks on the USD-INR. Alright, let's move on to the next market, and in fact this is going to be the sector. So this week we are going to be looking at the pharma sector. So let's quickly have a look at Nifty Pharma, and then we'll pick up a stock to see within the pharma sector. So if you look at the pharma sector right now, the pharma sector is more or less, it did go on to make an all-time high, and right now if you look at the monthly chart, it's consolidating here in this area of the monthly demand zone. So this monthly demand zone is still holding, right? And now because we are in this monthly demand zone, we just cannot create, or we just cannot formulate a bearish view on any of the pharma stocks. All right, so we need to take into consideration what is the sector telling us. So currently the pharma sector is in a monthly level of demand, right? So definitely it's in a buyer's territory. You can also see on the weekly chart, we are coming into an area of weekly demand, although tested, but again the prices are still holding on to this area. So maybe this is what the prices are probably doing, is something like creating lower highs, creating lower lows, creating a little bit of a bearish sentiment before starting to do something like this. So if the market does keep this does not break this low and the market begins to start doing this, then we might start to see a rise in the pharma sector in the days to come. Also, when the markets tend to fall down, usually this is one of the sectors, that is the pharma sector and the FMCG sectors are more or less called as the defensive sectors. And this is the time where you will see a lot of buying coming into these FMCG and pharma sectors, in fact, when the market is correcting. Right now the market is not correcting, but if it does, then you will see a lot of money coming into these sectors. So it's always a good idea to remain ready with a plan. And the stock for the week that I'm going to be talking about is Lupin. And the reason why I'm bringing about Lupin is because Lupin is also coming into a level of monthly demand. And this may not be a trading opportunity, but this could be more or less of a investing opportunity here, because we are right into this monthly level of demand. And although this level is a little bit big, so the idea here will be to hold on to this trade and maybe look for some bigger targets. So what could be the potential targets on this trade? We could see Lupin moving from 640 odd levels all the way to 883 odd levels. Okay, and this is the only reason why what I'm doing is I'm looking at the sector, which is the pharma sector, and identifying a stock which is also in a level of demand. All right, so whatever analysis you do, you can do it on the monthly chart itself and then take a consensus based on your sector chart as well. Alright, so this is all from me, and I hope you like the analysis. Like I always mention, that if you do like our analysis, please press the like button and do send us your comments with your feedback, And do not forget to subscribe to our channel, which is Sharekhan Education. Have a lovely week, everyone. Trade safe and trade well. Bye-bye.
This should not be treated as a recommendation. Please conduct your own analysis or consult a financial advisor before investing.